Hello everyone, welcome back. Today let's solve the 37th top coding interview question from 48 top coding interview questions curated by Leetcode. We'll solve this problem using Python. This is and shuffling an array problem. So given an array of numbers, so what we have to do is we design an algorithm to randomly shuffle the array numbers. And there are few other functions also we need. So one of the function is, if at all we shuffled it, if you want to get back the original number, we have to get those numbers also. Basically, you have a array of numbers, you shuffled it, you shuffle the numbers within the array. So, and if at all you want to get back to the original array, so you should be able to get it. So that's what they are asking. So they are asking that there are three functions. They are asking her to initialize. I already have a code. The three functions what they are asking is, one is to initialize, and is to reset. So that's the original array, and then the shuffle. So I'll explain what exactly these functions do. Basically, initialize is when you actually open this problem, so you will have something like this. So empty. All of these functions will be not implemented. You have to write your own code. This is the code. So I'll explain what exactly this code is. So initialize is nothing but it's like a constructor. Something when you create a an object of this class. Class is a what is class? Class is a blueprint of basically it's just a blueprint. It doesn't have any physical presence in the memory of a system. So just a logical representation of similar objects. That's called class. So when you create an object of the class, what is object? Object is nothing but one physical presence in the memory of that blueprint of a class. So similar things like a human being is a class. So we are all objects of human being. We have a physical presence, but human being per se, it's a logical collection of similar human beings, right? Similar people. So that is what the class is. Similarly, what this init is something. It's a constructor. The moment you initialize, moment you create an object, right, of a class, so that memory will be allocated for the objects which you try to create. For example, let's say this is when you create an object, right? This is how you create object. When you pass these numbers, which is the least, automatically this function will get called. When it will get called, and then it will create the objects in the memory. So that is nothing but basically it's like a constructor. It will assign the memory the moment you create an object of this class. So this is what this means, which means like when you are creating object of this class, this number of arrays will be stored automatically in the memory. That's what you can assume this init means. So self is the object name. Object name in Python, this is the one of the trickiest part. You are not passing you're basically passing numbers, and self you're passing basically this. If you see, you're passing two parameters. One is the object. So the way it works is it goes like this: object comma numbers. By default internally, object comma numbers. Objects are this object, and then number is the number of elements which you pass. For example, let's say these numbers. These things will go this as an input, right? It goes here inside the list. When you create objects, these functions will get initialized. Reset is something, you clone. Basically, it's like a cloning. You create an object, you try to shuffle it, and you modify it, right? But you create a copy of it. So that's nothing but you're taking, you're keeping the original here inside this. So basically, you're creating two objects here, two arrays. One is number, which we modify, and we also keep it the original one. With these two objects will be stored in the memory. Basically, this collection of arrays will be stored in the memory. When someone asks to reset, give the reset number, you pass this number, which is this. You return this number. You save copy of original to numbers and return it. So actually you modified the original array. So you modified the original array, which is this. In the shuffle, you modify the original array, but if when you modify it, in the middle, someone asks you to give the original number, so you basically give it from here. You basically before you modify it, and when you have Excel, or you're trying to work on that Excel, so before you start working on it, you modify it, right? So you keep a copy of it in some place before you start modifying. Similarly, before you try to modify that objects, you try to keep a copy, and then you return it when someone calls a reset button. So the reset functionality. So these two are self-explanatory. Shuffle is something you have to shuffle the elements. You have to shuffle the elements among different things, right? So you have one should go last, or two should come first, something like that. You shuffle within the same range. So what happens is random dot random rand range is the function which we have. I'll was basically what it does is, if you just run this function, so it will basically generate the number between 3 and 9 only. So it will not go beyond that. It will randomly generate any number between 3 and 9. If I run one more time, you will get some other number between 3 and 9 only. So you will not get number which is more than that. Or see, if you got the 4 now, you will not get 10, 12, something like that. Similarly, what this function is doing is, so each time when you have a list, each time you'll maintain two indexes, and then you swap those indexes. So I is common. Let's say each time when you iterate through this when you iterate through these elements, right? When you iterate through this list, or you can say this list, when you iterate through this item, like this item, let's say, and you want to shuffle, you want to bring this to this and this to this, something like that, if you want to do. So what you do is, so you keep I, which is, let's say, for the first time it is this element, second time it is this element, and so on and so forth. So you keep that I constant in each time, and then j value you take it between I, which is the number which you have, and between the length, whatever the length you have. For the first time, if your array length is 5, so you get from 0 to if 0 to 4, if you're going by that definition, right? Because you are taking that range here. Basically, you are taking I is nothing but you are taking the numbers, how many numbers you have, and j is you are generating the number between I and the length of those, right? So I is fixed, j is what you randomly generate between I and the length of the array. So if your array is, let's say, for the first time, let's say, imagine you have 1 and array length is 6. So 1 and then any number between 6 will be j. It is 2, 3, 4, 5, any number. That's what you do, and you swap those. I is 1, j is 6, let's say. You swap, you put the j's values in 1, and then 1 value will be put in j, and somehow you shuffle it, and that's how you return it. Again, here if you see, I'm calling object or shuffle. Here self is the object name. Object is the actual physical presence of something, right? So this memory will be initialized within for these objects. For these object, as in for these numbers, memory will be initialized in the memory, basically memory of a server where we are running this code. So that's all, guys. I think if you know classes in Python, it will be easier. If you don't know, I think W3 School classes and objects of Python, they are very good, and please refer W3 School Python classes and objects. If you read it, you will understand more. In nutshell, you are generating the random numbers, but the random numbers are between the range of your length of an array, and then you shuffle it. And to get the reset value, and then you basically keep the clone of original array, and then you return it when someone calls it. And then this init function is to initialize the object itself. That's all for this video, guys. I hope you liked it. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.